Up the entire room with natural light and cool breezes, creating that seamless transition between here and there. Discover the beauty of our bifold patio doors from Kendra's aluminum products. Two spaces have now become one smooth flowing space with a simple flick of a handle. Blur the lines and make your sanctuary spectacular. Enjoy outdoor living from the inside out with a touch of modern elegance. Transform your living spaces. A room with a view now belongs to only you. Visit our showrooms today and ask about our bifold patio doors. Another quality product from Kendra's Aluminum. Kendra's aluminum products exports to all islands in the Caribbean region. Call our export team today for assistance. Kendra's Aluminum Products Limited, a tradition of excellence.
Stop what you're doing. I want to tell you about Automarine Coatings. In Villa, right on the main, you have a car, you have a boat, and you want them look nice. Now with the Automotive, they are the official distributors of the Max Meyer car refinishing brand. It includes car automotive paints, clear coat reducers, hardeners, body filler, compressor fittings, automotive body oils. You have coolants, you have the greasers. So run down and check them out now. You're getting a 10% discount on all automotive paints. You have a boat, bottom protectant primer, barrier shield primer. They also carry the anti-fouling paint, fiberglass resin, fiberglass matting. They have stainless steel bolts and screws, 2-cycle and 4-cycle marine oil, anchor chains, buoys and fenders. They have everything you could think about for your boats and for your car. So run down and check them out now. They're located in Villa, right on the main. Auto Marine Coatings. When they reach down there, check Bruce, check Michael, and they go work with you. A 10% discount, it waiting on you. Let me go down there now. Auto Marine Coatings in Villa.
Jackpot? Well, there is an easy way. Combo Play. Choose 4 numbers from 1 to 36. That's a combo 4 at a cost of $64. Match any 4 of the 5 numbers and win the Lotto jackpot. There's Combo 6, where you purchase 6 numbers for only $12. Match any 5 of the 6 Lotto numbers and hit the jackpot. How about Combo 7? That's a purchase of 7 Lotto numbers for $42. Match any 5 of the 7 numbers and you will win the jackpot. There are also Combo 3, Combo 8, and Combo 9 Lotto plays. Visit the NLA headquarters in Pauls Avenue or WhatsApp 495-6886 for more details. Lotto. You have to be in it to win it.
Play for and win even more. National Lottery has more cash in store. 4 numbers from 0 to 9. Win $5,000 with $1 in line. Play for and back it up too. There'll be lots of cash waiting for you. Choose for Monday to Saturday. Go get your tickets, it's so easy to play. When you play for, you win even more.
The tourism industry in St. Vincent and the Grenadines employs thousands of hardworking men and women, providing services as taxi operators, tour guides and tour operators, short-term vehicle rentals, and comfortable accommodations. Many have been trained, licensed, and approved by the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Tourism Authority. Be sure to only use tourism-approved service providers. A message from the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Tourism Authority.
You can increase your chances of winning the Super 6 jackpot with a combo play. Remember, Super 6 numbers are from 1 to 28. Choose any 5 Super 6 numbers. That's a combo 5 for $69. Match any 5 of the 6 numbers and you will win the jackpot. Choose 7 Super 6 numbers for $21. Match any 6 of the 7 numbers and win the jackpot. There's more. Combo 8, where you purchase 8 Super 6 numbers for $84. Match any 6 of the 8 numbers and you will win the jackpot. There are also Combo 3 and Combo 4 Super 6 plays. Visit the NLA headquarters in Pauls Avenue or WhatsApp 495-6886 for more details. Super 6, bigger jackpots, more chances to win.
Out with the old, in with the new. In the past, you complained when we failed. We listened and went back to the drawing board. At last, a new, fresh beginning. A fresh face, a new product. International Standard Metals A792 presents Galvalume, an aluminum roofing metal, branded best used for roofing material, tested and proven to be of superior quality. Get wider coverage for the best prices on the island. We offer a variety of colors, including zinc sheets. All Also, take advantage of our unique roofing patterns, U-panel, industrial, and crimp Spanish style. Visit us at the Diamond Industrial Estate. Call us at 784-456-9900 or email bmlsvg@gmail.com. Galvalume, a product of International Standard Metals.
All right, well, it's that time for us to certainly, get interactive, share the morning with you here on The Star, as we always do every Monday to Friday. The morning scoop it is, of course, to be interactive. Your number is 451-7827. Also, you can send your WhatsApp messages at 534-7827. And you heard a little sniffling there. That's an indication that, he's back. He's back into the studio. The brother Sion Marshall. Glimpsed him last Tuesday night. Boy, if you see ways, if you see all kind of boy, the man sweat. Short, wet. What's up?
Yes. Good morning. Good
Short,
morning.
wet.
Good morning. Good morning, peeps, and thanks for the welcomes. It's good to be back. I miss all you. Denny Welly, I had to get on to the show at the concert on Tuesday night. I had to take in all of it because I know if certain hot hand promoter did bring that show day, I'd be paying 150 all board. You understand? 150 all board, and a glass of rum with Coke would be like $15. So the fact that I could get that for free, boy, I take all I could take. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because thank God it wasn't a hot hand promotion. What was hot hand promotion? Yeah. Only about 150? Yeah. What a cast. What a cast. What a cast. From our local entertainers. It was good to see Kevin Little on stage. It is the first time I'm actually hearing Kevin Little on stage and singing Simi Earnings. As in me being at the event, yes. I know he did, right. I think for Miss James Caraval some couple years ago and so on and so forth. So I know he has performed. But in terms of me being at the event, it's the first time. The only other time I've seen Kevin perform is at the Cullingbos Festival in Rotterdam, Netherlands. Imagine I had to go to Netherlands to see Avinci perform. It's the only other time I saw him perform. Massive performance there as well. But so it's good to see him on stage. It was good to see James P on stage. James P definitely missed the stage, and like the stage missed James P and the people missed James P. So that's good. And all the other local acts and of course the regional acts that came and really performed for us. It was a fantastic show. Hey, Ronnie, boy, listen to me, Ronnie
Richardson,
boy. I sure after Ronnie don't think we're going to live to Christ. I'm thinking I'm baptized one time. I mean, that medley of songs from Ronnie really went down well and ended with the Royal Telephone. I mean, Ronnie Boss, you met me at Raise the Boss, but really a good cast and some really fantastic performances. The band was amazing. It really was amazing that band that backed up the local performers. We did ourselves proud. I'm sure.
I think what's the name of the band, boy? High Profile.
There's a name. Something band. I remember the name. Like Rodney used. He'd been interviewed earlier by Dion John of NBC Radio. I remember the name of the band, but they really performed well, and I know whether it's Allison or Talpi. Well, Talpi knows. They must be saying, Vince has some really good performers.
Yeah, but on the whole matter of the band, that band played 5 hours straight. And
with all kind of different genres.
Exactly. So you gotta give it to them.
From the gospel, I'm telling you, from the gospel.
Yeah.
To hands, to soul. Everybody.
Yep.
And to put on a production like that, you have to give. I saw James, you posted something on Facebook. He used that kind of big word, colossal, kind of thing to describe the quality of the event, that the production that came off. You to do a production like that and to get a seamless. There was no big hole up. There was no MC drowning out things. It just flowed, and that we could put on a sound like that, an event like that in the way that it was done. You really want to congratulate everybody who was involved. So congratulations to all of the producers and the performers, government, CARICOM, for a fantastic event that I didn't have to pay $150 early board ticket for. Right? Okay, good. Good. Wonderful.
All right. Well, what was I saying here? West Indies playing today.
Who saying so?
F.
Who them West Indies?
There's West Indies. There's West Indies.
Yeah, well, hey, remember, I rather the Caribbean, because remember, according to the folklore, the Nancy story, when Columbus and them come and quote unquote discover, they thought they were on the western coast of India, right? So in the West Indies, no in the Caribbean. Yes, I'm in the Caribbean. So maybe I change your team, I change your name. You know, let me call yourself CARICOM Strikers. You know, say Daddy.
No, I prefer to stick with the I prefer to stick with the Reggae Girls. They're doing well these days. I recommend the Reggae Girls.
How is Jamaica doing at the World Cup though?
Well, they've actually progressed to the round of 16.
Okay.
They drew 0-0 yesterday with Brazil, and that result knocked Brazil out.
No, I'm talking about the female netball. Sorry.
Oh, they're doing fantastic.
Because I see somebody going up on Trinidad, eh? Jesus, mother.
Jamaica hammered Trinidad to 80-something to 20-something.
What?
Yeah, they hammered TNT. All right.
Is that good thing to stop home, eh? Because with that ball for some of them scores there. Yeah. I think it was Zimbabwe or one of those teams were playing Trinidad at that time. And they were really thumping off Trinidad as well. Right? Yeah. Wow. So yeah, Rutan, you mean friend girl, like stop home, eh? Go Ecuador or El Salvador and come to. I like that. I like that. But yeah, I mean, we should let's try a new thing. Instead of calling it the West Indies team, call it the CARICOM Strikers. You know,
don't do that to CARICOM, please. We just had some top-notch productions across the region. You know, last night Barbados was off the chain. I understand. Another CARICOM event in Barbados. Guyana had a big concert. We did it in a huge way here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, you know, last Tuesday night. So leave CARICOM out of the West Indies name.
I hear you.
Yeah,
I hear you. Talking about CARICOM, sometime next week, I think next week or week after next, the Trinidad and Tobago would have their local elections, local government elections, and Jack is back.
Jack is back.
Yo. I'm telling you, things nice. Jack is back. You know, I'm seeing them. I'm seeing different things happening. One of the things we could be grateful for here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is stability of government. And I think we take that for granted. But stability is always a good thing when you have stability in government. I mean, you look at African countries now moving towards situations where they're deposing quote-unquote democratically elected governments and installing military governments. So you have Niger, Burkina Faso, and I think Mali, all under military rule. You know, and that sometimes those situations sometimes do not make for the greatest stability, because military leaders have been known in the past to act in particular ways. But it seems to me, from what the media is showing, that in the case of Niger, that the general population seems to be behind and with the leaders of the coup. You know, so that's what's happening in that part of the world. Here we have stability. We've had stability over the last 22 years. The government led by Dr. Gonzalez. And we've had transitions and people coming and people going, but one thing has remained, and that is the stability that we can count on. We can put your pot in the fire and count on stability, even though things around us, even though exogenous circumstances may affect us, you can count on stability. Whether it's financial crises, wars and rumors of wars. Disasters, natural disasters, what have you. We face them all, but we've withstood because of the stability of government that we have here in our country. And we must be grateful and thankful for that.
Definitely. Talking about the stability, PM Gonzalez, of course, recent meetings, first of all in Morocco, where St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we've been pledged 20 full scholarships. We have a significant amount of, what do you call it, coming for the farmers. Urea coming for the farmers. Significant amount, I believe, over 400 tons, somewhere thereabout, coming out of Morocco for the farmers. We hear about Morocco looking at setting up a home here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, a consulate, Moroccan consulate here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And then just recently, of course, the discussion with the Saudi Arabians, the Saudi fund, where they've pledged to provide the financing to carry out a significant amount of capital projects here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And you only do that with a country where there's stability.
Of course.
Right? Of course. So, that augurs well, of course, in terms of us going forward, as a people and attracting the investors. The same, the Moroccans, as I mentioned, there are some investment potential, I understand, that might very well come to St. Vincent and the Grenadines coming out of Morocco, based on recent discussions held with Prime Minister Gonzalez.
But nobody will lend any money if things are stable, then, because the first thing they're going to go is how I get it back. And not just the lending of the money, but the interest rates at which we get that money are also determined by your ability, your assessed ability to repay. And a part of that assessment has to do with how stable you are, how stable the economy is. And especially where when it's concerned, where projections are, in the 6% growth over the last year and projected for this year and so forth. It encourages lenders, both institutions and partners. Taiwan, for example, has loaned us $60 million for the port. I mean, you see, the CDB is lending us has lent us $100 and something million, their largest ever disbursement in the Caribbean. A banking will lend you that kind of money with the low interest rate, unless they're confident that they're getting money back. And part of that has to do with how stable your economy is, how stable your country is. That says, they're going to be able to pay it back. So we're thankful for that stability. And when I mention African countries, Niger, Mali, and generally, these are countries that were once under French colonialism. So they're French-speaking countries. Clearly, there seems to be a revolt against France, and these countries have gone towards, as I said, military government, deposing the civilian. That's a better phrase. They have civilian government, but here in St. Vincent and Grenadines, we face no such threat. People of St. Vincent and Grenadines who voted for the ULP in 2020, I guess, but then you could tell what all about. Are confident and happy with what we have.
Well, there's a comment I just read on the live. The rest of August. The last comment.
Okay. Well, just tell me how much you learn, because listen, I could do it alone now. So what you have? I stable. I stable. I very, very stable.
She asked you to take a loan for her.
Oh, for her?
Yeah.
Go for you. I think it's from you. Oh, I can't read it.
Oh my goodness.
By the way, Denny, I was out, so I didn't get to comment on this, but I made a comment on WaveUp this morning. The situation surrounding Vinlec's attempt to collect on debts, outstanding debts, was blown out of proportion.
Way out of proportion.
With many individuals just being ridiculous regarding Vinlec, the public corporation. Because Florida cut you off, Digital has cut you off, courts have come up with the thing, quick cash put the name in newspaper, the bank has sell out the vehicle, and a house. So why you should pay Vinlec? Why shouldn't you pay Vinlec? Eh? Why shouldn't you pay Vinlec? But no, apparently Vinlec is tariff-free. Well, it might have been under previous government, but Vinlec is a solid state institution and a state agency that provides a very critical service in a very stable, reliable manner. Our electricity service in Simmons and Grannies is as reliable as any developed country in the world, you know. And a lot more stable than many developing countries. We do have the kind of outages that some big countries have, you know, on a regular basis, you know. We may have partial outages if a storm come, if a lightning strike, that kind of thing. If somebody run and knock out a pole out of the ground. But there are countries that consistently have to load shed because of the instability of their grid. We don't have a problem. So why y'all want to pay to make sure that we continue to have stable, reliable electricity? But here's the best part, Benny. Here's the best part. Two things, and they're very connected, but I have to list them individually. One, the individuals who genuinely couldn't afford to pay because they poor, quote unquote, or they have genuine financial situations, they were unemployed, XYZ, and so forth, they are probably still disconnected. So here's the other one, which is connected. Here's the other one, which is so connected. The fact that the connection, the disconnection, or even the threat of disconnection prompted you to run to Vinlec to pay a bill, mean that he had the money all the time and they could pay it. So we just win it willfully.
Yep.
To use a Vincentian word, you're worthless. Because every time you hear Vinlec cut off, you want to pay the bill. So what are we waiting for? What were you waiting on? Crowds of people in front of Vinlec to pay the bill because they've been cutting off. Which means you had the money all the time. Or at least you have access to the money. So why weren't you paying the bill? My mother live in Chateaubriand, old man, 87 years old. She has amenities. But when you see end of month done, then for one thing, Miss Marshall do a come a tongue and pay bill on them. I don't pay my mother well, you know. Because my mother, me own man, me live me own But any little thing Miss Marshall get, she make sure. Listen, let me tell you about Miss Marshall, And if Danny meets Sister Marshall road, Sister Marshall, I'm telling you, oh my Lord, and the Lord so move you to give. She had $200. This is no joke. And I'm talking to business with Marshall. The first thing Miss Marshall do out of that, Danny, I swear to you, she take out your tights. Hey, she take out your tights. I say, Mama, what? I not think you're supposed to take tights for where you walk for. If somebody, you take out the tights out of that. And Miss Marshall make sure she put aside what she needs to. An 87-year-old woman, she's not on public assistance. An 87-year-old woman, but she makes sure she using light, she have internet, she watching TV, pantry, ABN whole day, so you have one current. So you know, if you want to watch 3 ABN, you have to make sure he light bill pay and he cable bill pay. And I don't pay them. She ensures that they are paid. So if it's a little allowance you get from the children and them, she'll make sure take out for she bills and them. How if an 87-year-old woman understands priorities and responsibilities in that way, what about those of us who are employed and use the same services? Come on, man. So Vinlec is not the bad guy because Vinlec say, well, you use the current that we have to produce, that we have to buy oil, diesel, to produce, that we have to pay men in the generating room to produce, that we have to pay to maintain the lines to produce, that we have to pay the staff to produce. So we spend money to get it to your house. You use it, so you got to pay with the money, pay we back, so we could continue to produce more. So how is been like the bad person if they say, well, partner, you ain't pay your bill in 3 months, your bill is $600, pay your money, are we cutting it? How is been like the bad person? But the antagonists, the people who complain about everything, the people who always have something to say, boy, Vinlek is the worst in the world. But look at the internet cable. Danny, you go home last night, go watch netball or football. Ploops, nothing, cable gone. Nobody ain't putting no means about Buffalo. As a matter of fact, let me say this here categorically, I am not trying to in any way cast any aspersion. But if Flo has Vinlek, I would not mind. But you complain all the time about the unreliability of this service and that service, but you go in every month, like clockwork and pay for it. It ain't reliable. It always done. It always that. But you're paying for it. When you leave work and go home and it's switch on, you don't know if your internet will be working, but you're paying for it. On the other hand, when you go home, unless there is some sort of unrelated service for Vinlek, you switch so, like command. Unless it's something that Vinlek couldn't. Of course, they do their maintenance and they will tell you that they publish in the newspapers and so on, where they have maintenance and where they're going to be outages during. But generally speaking, reliable, stable. Clicks. So why are you running to pay the one that you're complaining about all the time, that ain't stable, that ain't working, that I always drop it out, but the one that you have clicks in the day, you are 3 and 4 months?
Let's see. We have.
Call. Sorry.
Hello. Good morning.
Danny.
Morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Good morning.
Well, I've been about 4.5 minutes here just waiting, right? And after Sion finished, I feel like just hanging up because every single point that he has made is what I call him to make.
All right.
Starting with the reliability and stability of our electricity service and water. In St. Vincent and the Grenadines compared to a lot of other countries included in the Caribbean. Especially the electricity where it go out so regularly. And the thing is, St. Vincent has this habit of playing brinksmanship with their Vinlek.
Yes, on water.
It come $200. They go in, they put 50 pounds there. I see it, I hear it all the time. Not that they can't pay it, you know. And as a matter of fact, some of them express, me not pay off no bill. Put 50 pounds there. Then they go up KFC and spend $50, $30 on lunch. And all kind of, like somebody said yesterday, I'll go to the store with the rest of the money. People say, well, it's my life, you can't tell me what. Yes. But the fact of the matter is, when you make a choice, life is about choices.
Mm-hmm.
You have to deal with the consequences.
Mm-hmm.
So don't come crying after you already made the decision consciously, and then the consequences come. As regards the other bills, like
Benson, before you go further, right? Let me say something that should come close to, because I believe you're familiar with the state, because I think I hear you mention the name of the state in the US. Because it's about Caribbean, but I talk about Caribbean, I talk about big rich countries. About 2 years ago, Ted Cruz got himself in hot water. And you should be familiar with the state I'm talking about. Ted Cruz. Senator
Okay,
Ted Cruz.
Texas.
Because in the middle of winter, their grid failed.
Yep.
And people were freezing to death in oil-rich Texas because of their grid. We ain't talking Caribbean now. We're talking rich America, where the grid that they have failing. We not have a problem in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Absolutely not.
And to have a grid that is reliable and stable like this, it costs us money. You gotta pay for that.
And as a matter of fact, more maintenance intensive than Flow. Flow could almost set up their thing and go on autopilot. After that, Vinlec has to be maintained every second. Somebody has to be there making sure that the current stays on, that everything is where it's supposed to be, monitoring. These guys set up their roads, and after that is autopilot pretty much. The communication companies, their maintenance bill is nowhere near to maintain their systems. And the thing is, those systems and those services depend on the electricity from Vinlec. Okay? So the thing is,
Bring it home.
why are you taking care of that? And if Vinlec go click,
Bring it home.
everything is off.
Your cable now work,
Okay,
your
so you
internet
have
now work.
Watch this. Your cable bill is $300. Cable and internet, whatever. Right? Vinlec is $150. You go pay off your $300
You
for the
better.
cable and internet.
You better.
I want to pay put £100 that. Put £60 that at Vinlec. How come all of a sudden, after within this last week, the line to pay Vinlec bill triple and quadruple in length? Where the money comes from? All of a sudden.
And they mattress.
Bad habit.
And they mattress.
Bad habit. Pay your bill. And there should be nobody making any excuses for that.
And that's the other thing, Benson. The brinksmanship that I talk about. Because I was saying that. Even if, let's say your bill is $150, $200. Your bill is $200. And you for whatever circumstances this month, you can't pay $200. Say pay $150. Right? That's reasonable. Me ain't think like go watch that and say, let me cut you off. However, if you do that over 6 months, then your outstanding balance become $300.
How much I raise is that?
Exactly.
Which brings me to this point. Because when Mr. Lynch used to be on Nice Radio, and a lot of people call in and say to him, and Lynch knew better too, but for sake of propaganda, he went along with it for political expediency, right? Their average bill, let's say, is $200 per dwelling, right? They do the same thing that we're talking about here, and a bill comes for $600. They call Lynch. Oh, God. The bill, $600. What they're not mentioning is how much a raise.
How much a raise, yes.
Giving the impression that $600 is for the last month. Dishonest. And let me tell you, people just need to do the right thing. And if you choose not to, consequences.
Of course.
It goes way back from creation. God made man a free moral agent with freedom of choice, and it continues to this day. Life is about choices. Gentlemen, continue.
All right, man. Have a good one. I mean, as I said, I'm all about reasonableness and fairness. If someone is having challenge, let's say, for example, you notice you're able to track your light bills, and you know your light bill average $250, $300 because you have all the amenities. You have fancy fridge with the ice and all kind of thing and so on.
Ice maker.
Yeah. And you have your washing machine, you have fancy stove that click, and I use matches, you know. You iron every morning, your family big. So your light bill between $250, $300. But you notice a month, it comes $700, $800. Well, people say, you have shop, you have deep freeze. Okay, that is something outside of what your normal budget.
Right.
You pay the $300. Yeah, 500. What do you do as a responsible individual? You go to Vinlec and you report something that is outside of the norm. Like, that ain't normal. My light bill has more than doubled, almost tripled. And they will discuss with you some of the possibilities. Another one come and go again. Then you know something wrong. I was listening to the CEO of Vinlec. And before I get to the CEO, this is where dialogue comes in. You go into Vinlec and you speak with them. Sometimes we just leave things until too late. Old people say you can't have things to deal with in broad daylight and deal with them, and then you wait until night come to use flambeau. You go into Vinlec. CEO of Vinlec, Dr. Vaughan Lewis. And I was really so proud of us because, I mean, we ain't personal friends, we ain't buddies and things, but we go to school together. So at least I think he recognized me. Hey, Vaughan, what's going on? And I think I might have the, I'll let you work hard my PhD, you know. I might have the liberty to call him Vaughan because, you know, now we say, come on, man. But young man, and doing a fantastic job. He was a senior member of staff before taking this position. But he was making the point, technical, but he was making the point that there was a similar instance, and when they checked it out, it was a defective fridge. When they changed the fridge, the bill dropped by more than half. Wow. So sometimes, again, all of these little things. I remember when you had Daycon at the energy unit, one of the things that we're talking about, again, people just relax things. It's like COVID. When COVID was in the prime, everybody washed their hands and walk around with hand sanitizer and so on and so on. No, nobody has hand sanitizer, nobody now wash their hand. We relax because COVID gone. When we had an issue with oil prices years ago, I remember all of these discussions we were having about energy saving things. Sometimes you might get something cheap, a TV, a fridge, relatively cheap, but it's an energy sucker. Sometimes it's better to spend the money up front to conserve on the energy in the back end.
All right, let's hear this call. Good morning.
Denny and Fian, good morning.
Good morning,
Levin.
There are some ignorant people in stock here. You rather go by flow and pay flow bill. One time I have asked the lady, I say, and this is what she would say. Then I got away. So he said, mate, then I got away. I say, if you don't have electricity, can you get cable? Can you get internet? I say, when you can do it out, cable and internet, because you might have a cell phone, you can put a data on it. You want the current because you have your fridge, you might have your machine, you have this. How can it work without current?
You got charge your phone too?
Some people just ignorant. Look, internet just keep dropping out. And you just don't pay a bill. When they come home, no internet. The cable going while. So you rather, when you could do it out that, the whole world see that on your light cut. So the best thing is to do is go up your light bill. If you can't pay flow bill, you use data. But the current Vinlec is more important than Vinlec and water is more important than any other bill for me. So when I was talking about water, left him back Vinlec could stop. When Vinlec cuts you off, can you get internet and cable? No, sir. You can't get it. So your Vinlec bill comes first.
Yeah, but Lavon,
Okay.
Lavon,
Yeah.
how are you going to charge your phone? You put credit on the phone, how are you going to charge it?
How you going to charge your phone?
Eh? You pack a credit by dead,
Oh,
battery dead.
if you have your neighbor charge a gear one day, you think that how can they do it?
Because now you cannot pay a bill.
Yeah.
Somebody will
So
charge it.
Vinlec bill come first. Okay.
Oh my lord. Then you have to take a break. Eh? I mean, I
I
have to look
hope
at this
Monique
thing.
bought breakfast.
That between you and Chef. Look, we have to look at this thing seriously. And even if we speak of it with a little bit of humor and so on, and I may be a bit robust and so on and so forth as well, we have to be honest with ourselves. We have responsibilities. And I listened to AC Watan, Joel Providence, P. John, Cecil, very, very thorough interview with Dr. Lewis. asking him all kind of questions and so forth. But one of the things I got this sense that sometimes there was this empathy for the consumer, even though I believe that some of them were irresponsible. So that, especially Joel, sorry, Mr. Providence, because we in sex and size. Okay, you know what to say that they know it, but Mr. Providence, he was covering all this to make sure that they've been let do everything possible to prevent the inconvenience of this connection. Did you do this and did you do that? What about it? But all the consumer for the one thing, people. Mr. Providence went down a checklist of things that did, it's been like the consumers one thing by the checklist, baby. That's it. Did they pay their bill? No. And the truth is, like Lavon was saying, and Benson and so on, and people who are reasonable. The truth is, Vinlec and CWSA are more lenient than all the others. So they will run to play Flow. They will run to pay Digicel because they do not see those companies as being as lenient as Vinlec. So that is why Vinlec have a wait. Then before we take the break, CWSA suffers even greater than Vinlec. People have come to me and personally, a personal thing, to say, so Marshall, a little help with me water bill. How much is your water bill? $300 and something dollars. How do you amass a water bill? How do you accumulate, better word, a water bill of $300 plus when everybody knows average water bill is 20 something, 30 something dollars? How?
40 at most.
How?
Yeah.
You know how it felt? But it's simple. They don't pay the bill. They would pay everything else. CWS is lenient. Then I come cut you off. So you go pay everything else except the CWSA. But guess what? Every single morning you wake up, turn on pipe, shower, make your tea, use the toilet. 90% of your activities during the day require water. In the same way, 90% of the activities require electricity.
Sure.
But guess what? You want them wait. Them go wait. Let me do everything else. How do you accumulate a water bill of $300? How? And how do you pay piece of a $30 water bill, Daddy? Eh? How do you pay piece of a $30 water bill? No. I know people as a habit, they would say they pay their water bill every 2 months. It doesn't be $30, $25, whatever. Yeah, so they do it every 2 months one day. I hear that. But the minute they start to roll over to 6 months and 7 months, you're taking advantage of the system, man. You're taking advantage of the system. And I think that is what it boils down to. Consumers taking advantage of the St. Vincent electricity services that provide stable, reliable, dependable, consistent electricity to Vincent Chance. Because of those people complaining on Facebook about the reliability of the electricity, like they do about the internet and the cable.
We take the break and we come back.
On Friday, August 4th, there'll be thousands of dollars to be won. A lotto jackpot of $155,000. A new home, car, or that college education.
Lotto, you have to be in it to win it.
Next lotto jackpot,
At the
$155,000.
People's Pharmacy, we put our mission at the center of our name. We are people-centered, and every day we renew this commitment to providing products and services that help our valued customers lead healthier and happy lives. The People's Pharmacy fills prescriptions promptly and accurately, and also offers a wide range of vitamins and supplements, plus generic medication for everything from an upset stomach to the common cold. We offer toiletries and baby care items, skin care and hair care items too. All that coupled with
yours to take until the end of days. Take me to your secret place. I just wanna slide into your ocean, dive in. We gon' make a big ocean, vibe in. Yeah, you love the vibe. Never knew love like this before. If you're lost on your way, I'ma find you. And if you cry out for help, I'ma hear you. And if it's time that you need, I'll give you love and affection. Oh, baby, I can be a driver.
Yeah, boy. Like reliving August 1st all over again, boy. Just wanna grow, dig. I love this. Anyway, we're back with you here. Let me just address two things on the on two comments on the live here. Ms. Laborde was saying, how does one explain that energy change? It is very high. People are paying their bill twice. I do not know of anybody paying their bills twice. The good thing about meter charges is that you have a meter in your house, and the meter records. I'm not saying that anything is perfect, but we can reliably depend on the meter to record our usage, and so the meter records your usage for the month. If there is a fluctuation, increase or decrease in your consumption, then you have a responsibility to address it. You may say that, like I said, there's for 1 month you realize that the bill just double, and it may well be a malfunctioning appliance that you have. A fridge, for example, that where the seal, the rubber, has lost its suction, and so it is leaking the cold air there, and so on. There are many different ways you can explain that, and so once you recognize it, it's your responsibility to go and address it. Look, energy costs, and I'm not going to let anyone try to make anybody feel that energy costs in St. Vincent are any different than anywhere else. I've lived overseas. I've lived in Central Asia, in Azerbaijan for 2 years. I live in New York for 3 years, and energy bills were high. And I'm sure individuals in North America and Europe will tell you that. Especially, as a matter of fact, there's no break. In the winter, it's high because you're using plenty heating, and many individuals, because of their fear of the bill, would turn the heating thing as low as possible. Not heat some rooms, because to do it comfortably where you have comfortable heat across your house, you better go high. And same thing in the summer, we gotta use the air conditioned units. You ain't having the children run it. Go outside, go play, because if you stay in the house and you run the AC, it's going high. So, I mean, come on. If you're in St. Vincent Grenadines and you use your appliances and so forth, you use the amenities, especially now in vacation, then the children home, so TV watching whole day and so on, you expect there to be an increase in your electricity consumption, and you're happy for that. Finally, I know we have Richard on the line, but let me hold that. My good buddy Bernard Smith was saying, look, he says the meter and garbage collection is more than triple the water. Well, the meter is something that you have to pay for because you have it every month. So you're renting the meter in the same way Flo used to charge you to rent the phone. And you have regular garbage collection in some areas 2 days a week. You got to pay for that. Now, do we complain the same way when, Brother Smith, when the interest on your mortgage, the interest payment is as high as your mortgage payment? You pay that mortgage of $1,200. I only look at it. The actual money going to the principal is $600 or $700, and the money going to the interest is $500. Do we complain? No, it's for the mortgage. So I mean, anyhow.
All right. Well, this gentleman, he stopped calling the regular number. You just feel you could call my number at any time.
You give him freedom, so take that.
So, morning, sir. How you doing?
Good morning. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Very good, man. All is well. What about you?
I am good. And we welcome back the Marshal, to marshal the forces, I think his training in Cuba would make him even better now, because he would have met the revolutionaries there who know what it is to conduct, a revolutionary process in terms of, military actions, So, Sian, how you doing, man?
Well, I was thinking that you and I would take a trip to Mali or Burkina Faso. Niger, and really reinforce it now.
Right. but let's pronounce the word correctly. Burkina Faso.
Well, I don't know what you heard, but that's what I said. But that's all right.
And it actually means the house of the good man. That's what it actually means.
Mm.
All right, that's what it means. Okay, and the name was changed by Thomas Sankara when he became president. He was later murdered. Right? I know you know what the original name was, but we let the public guess that. However, what I want to talk about is what you're talking about, and there are what I call the internal aspects of it, and there is the broader external aspects of it. I think you've dealt with all or most of the internal aspects of it, but let us be clear on two things here, Sian. If anything means something to you, okay, anything at all means something to you, you give your time, your effort, and your money to it. You understand? Anything. So, for example, you're my brethren. If you come here, regardless of what I have to do, I'll get to the airport to get you. You understand what I'm saying? I'll make sure you're comfortable and so on because you mean something to me. Okay? Mm-hmm. In the same way, you would pay your water and your light and so on because they mean something to you. Right. Now, the important thing here to understand is this, that these are essential services.
Yes.
Not because the state says so, but because they are essential to you, as you have explained. Okay? As you know, 60% of the human body and a little bit more is made up of water. Biology teaches us that. You know that. Okay? And your entire system can't function without water. Okay? The recommended amount of water, drinking water for a human being, a grown human being, is about 6 bottles of water a day. Mm. That's medically argued. You understand what I'm saying? Now listen to me. See, and you know very well. I only got a mobile phone because you insisted on that, first and foremost. I'm going to talk whatever I know about mobile phone is you have taught me it. Right? But I work for the United Nations. Okay? And I don't need to have a mobile phone, but still insisted. You know what I mean? And so that is what happened. But I can assure you that every single day of my life, I need my light and I need my water. Okay? Every single day of my life. But guess what now? I am going to pay my mobile phone bill. And I'm going to pay everything else. And the water that I need, because as I said, 60% of a human body is water. Okay? I don't pay that. Can you imagine how ridiculous that is?
Yep.
Right? That's one of the internal moments. The second internal moment that I think we should understand, or we need to understand quite clearly, is that, look, whether Cian mentioned this or not, because I'm not sure he did, the phone companies are not owned by St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Okay? The internet companies are not owned by us. You know what? Vinlec and CWSA is ours. So imagine you running Cian, you running a business and you pay everybody else. You understand? But you ain't paying yourself. Okay? You ain't paying yourself. These are our companies. We own them. You understand? And so whatever profits and so on they make come back to us. And we need to understand that. Okay? These are companies which we own. But let us do what is called systemic thinking. Let us see systemically what happens. You don't pay Vinlec. Cian has discussed some of that. Vinlec can't buy no oil and gas to run the business. Cian, I ask you this question. Would you like it at the end of the month, you go to Vinlec, when your salary time comes, Vinlec say, well, Anthony, they didn't pay me bill enough, so I can't pay you. You understand what I'm saying? And then you can't go to the supermarket. Then your children can't go to school, okay? And then the mortgage cannot be paid, so the bank is in trouble. And we could go on and go on. In other words, the point I'm trying to make here, there's a systematic sort of thing, cascading thing that happens, you understand, when people fail to pay their bills, okay? Bantu Campbell, my friend, Pierre Campbell's son, did a little short analysis of this. And he showed that the company is owed $39 million, okay? But the company has to borrow, I think it's $16 million to renovate and so on and keep things floating and so on. His point was this: if we pay our bill, the company would spend that $16 million and don't have to borrow a cent. You understand what I'm saying? But can improve the services of the company.
Yep.
Okay? And these are things that we need to understand, and we need to understand it clearly. I could take the systemic or systematic argument further if you so wish. But I think I have made the point sufficiently enough. Now let's look at the external part of this. And I think, CN, you know that I've had a serious call with the law and order in our country. People just basically disobeying the law, you know, and doing what the hell they like. Well, I think VINLEC and CWSA can bring them in line in certain aspects. Okay? Look, you use the service, pay for it. And if you don't pay for it, we will cut you off. And that could help people to understand, listen to me, this is a society of law and order. And you would not be allowed to misbehave in that way. Secondly, Cian mentioned this point. And he mentioned it from a personal standpoint. He said, Miss Marshall, if she meets you in Tongue, you see $200. The first thing Miss Marshall think about, let me pay my bill. You know what I'm saying? Let me fix things. That is at the personal level. Now let us take it broader to the community and the society as a whole. If all of us, or every majority of us as a people, refuse to carry out these responsibilities, what do you think we have?
Yeah.
Chaos, mayhem, you understand? And things fall apart. Things fall apart. In this case, our electricity services fall apart. That is what happens. Now, we need to understand that the forest is made up of the tree of individual trees. The success of this company is made up of each and every one of us carrying out our responsibility as people. Listen to me. This is not just our responsibility as regards the company and the service it provides. This is our responsibility as regards the nation, the energy supply of an entire nation. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's not just an issue of light here. It's an issue of production, as I said, if we look at it in terms of systemic thinking. You understand? It's an issue of production, okay? In terms of what we do at the flower factory, for example. Okay, without energy, these things cannot be done. They cannot be done. And we must understand this kind of stuff, right? The hundreds and thousands of people, you understand, who, because of energy, have a job. So if you're working at the flower factory and it's shut down because of lack of energy, guess what I'm telling you, Cian? You're done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you get the point I'm making.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And every other industry, so you're working at a supermarket. Well, guess what? The supermarket, from its air conditioning to its cold storage, needs what?
Energy.
Energy.
Yep.
Energy. We must
Electricity.
understand that when we talk of the responsibility, it's not just from the personal standpoint or the individual standpoint that Cian mentioned, but from a broader societal standpoint. Now, we know that energy makes things work. You understand? But that energy depends on something. Depends on you carrying out your responsibility. Okay? So in order for us to make things work, you have got to understand that even if you're a very small screw in the machinery, okay, you are a screw in the machinery. You have to keep the machinery together. Okay? And so therefore, you are this individual link in the industry, right, is important. And you need to understand it and play a role. Secondly, we have a malaise in this country, in our country, where everybody believes they're entitled. You understand what I'm saying? And so a lot of people intend to live parasitically on the society and don't want to carry out their responsibility, don't want to carry out their role. But this is a society, you know? This is a society. This is not just a bunch of individuals, you know, who, for whatever reason, live together. No. It's much more than that. And so what I want to say is this. I want to thank VINLEC for having done what it did. But we must see the broader picture, not just all the individual responsibilities, right? But VINLEC must continue to do this, and CWSA must continue to do this, okay? and the Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines must continue to do this, and whoever else, so that we understand you live in a society, you have your role to play. You cannot forever be parasitic, and believe that you're entitled to everything without having to pay for it. Thank you, gentlemen, for listening to me. Okay? Have a great day.
Have a
All the
good
best.
one. Have a good one. All right, so let me just respond to something from Buddy Smithy. So I guess it was read because he said he has no sympathy for CWSA, but what he then said in a comment afterwards that what he meant was that the people were CWSA. So in the case of CWSA, where people are disconnected, he really has no sympathy there, and I agree with you because there's no way you could accumulate reasonably a water bill of $300, $200 something if you are paying so that's where we are in terms of, I think, the situation of us recognizing our responsibilities. We use the services, and something that Bill Johnny said even more, which we didn't point out, is that sometimes you have a problem with your internet, and it persists for a while, and it takes days, weeks for you to get it fixed, and even for get a little credit, it's like pulling teeth, to get a little something off because your service, internet cable, what have you, wasn't working properly for days, for weeks even sometimes. And I can speak of personal experiences in another capacity, but of course that would not be professional, so I can't mention that. But I know what people are going through. I am also a customer. We don't have those situations regarding our electricity service. If there is an outage, it's not individual. It's regional, maybe a particular area, Sand Hill, Lower Mans, whatever, and many customers are affected because of whether it's maintenance or what have you. But I seldom do you ever have. I've never heard of one individual saying, "Oh, my electricity isn't functioning properly. It's cutting in and out. It's cutting in and out for the last so much days." And you know what I mean, Denny? So the point is that we utilize the service, and we have a responsibility, simple, to pay for it. Simple. And if it gets to a point where your arrears it has gotten to a level where VINLEX thinks it's unsustainable to keep you going, accumulating more, because that's essentially what happens, then they have that right to disconnect you. And look, in Azerbaijan, for example, they have prepaid electricity where you have a card, you stick in your card. In some countries they have that as well, in some African countries. And when that amount runs out, that's it. Electricity done. It done. So I remember as a student, I'm going home from class. Class ends after 8 p.m. I get home, close to like after 9, and I have no electricity. None. Because I wasn't monitoring my charge on the card. The issue of electricity across the globe is a taxing one, especially now as energy prices soar. In the UK, I was there last year, and that was a massive discussion that people they were actually preparing for a 30-something% in the electricity bills, and people were saying, if we can't pay the bills now, how are we going to pay it when there's a 30-something% increase? I mean, it was a significant discussion last year in the UK, and wherever you go, the US, Canada, Latin America. I don't like to call it Latin America, but South America, South and Central America. maybe the only places where the cost of electricity is low, and even then people would struggle regardless, would be places like Saudi Arabia and so on, where these are some massive oil producing countries. But generally speaking, the issue of the cost of energy, especially for us who consume it and who have to pay big money to import it, would be challenging as long as the prices go up. And so we have to look at, one, conserving as much energy as we can, not leaving lights on, watching all the TV, looking at the appliances. The days when people used to iron in bulk on a Sunday done, everybody getting up and iron in the morning, and we've learned over and over and over that particular practice is not good for your electricity consumption, but we do it anyway. We're not care. Of course, when we complain when the bill comes. So, look, Vinlec got some stick, but I totally disagree with the kind of stick that they got. They had a responsibility. They're merely trying to collect debts that are owed to them. And it's only now a lot of people who, anyway, let me not say that. So, yeah, I'll have a good day. Let me not say that.
All right, to wrap it up, the Lady M is up next, and certainly a pleasure. God's willing, we'll be back with you tomorrow morning with another edition of the Morning School.
At the People's Pharmacy, we've put our mission at the